Spreading the news. New York, New York. You may know it as the city of my birth. You may know it as the city of bright lights. Did you know there are over 91,000 practicing attorneys in New York City? That's 1 in every 21 people is an attorney in New York. What we are is a legal temporary employment agency catering to this niche of the top 150 firms that represents over $50 billion in revenue. It's an enormous market. It's a huge demand that grows in good times and bad. In good times they do M&A, in bad times they do bankruptcies. And it's growing at over 7% per year on average in revenues. And on the supply side, we have high-paying jobs, and every year 14,000 students and more graduate and come to New York looking for a job. And everyone's taking the bar exam, which is a requisite to practice law in New York. And that's 35% of people take the bar exam, fail, and they're looking for a job. And we are their gateway to these top firms that we're catering to. And we did our research, and we called multiple firms, and we had experience with these firms already to see what the competition is. And we are going to deal with 4 to 7 other firms that are catering to these firms, to the big firms, like LSP, De Novo, Update. We are not facing the big firms like Monster.com. The law firms prefer working with smaller ones, and that's what we're going to break into. The key here is there's no gold standard. There's no pedigree amongst these firms. The temp agencies that already exist are focused on filling a quick body into the job, not quality. We're going to focus on quality as well. And we want to become the Goldman Sachs of the temp world. And our team, we've got good synergy. We're all pretty smart. We have different experiences. We from sales to operations to marketing to finance to legal. We have it, and we can start. On that note, I'll pass you on to Roberto, who will give you more details on the business model.
Thanks, Alice. Our business plan is really simple. We're going to recruit talent from all around the United States and bring to New York City to work temporary labor in big law firms. What does this mean? Simply put, on one side we have a pool of the major New York City law firms whom we've researched and we know are constantly looking for temporary, affordable labor. On another side we have aggressive recruitment all over the United States of professionals, talents, who for some reason cannot be permanently employed at this time. And so our job is just to match these two needs together. We're going to bring these people together and we're going to make a profit doing it. The profit is going to be in the difference between what we charge the law firms and what we pay the temps. That's going to be our primary source of revenue. A secondary source of revenue might be when one of our temps gets permanently hired in one of the major law firms, in which case they would pay us a finder's fee as you would any normal standard recruitment agency. I keep referring to as talents. What do I mean by this? Paralegals, attorneys, and secretaries. As you can see here, our research shows that most are paralegals. A paralegal is a future lawyer, one that, as Alistair said, has not passed the bar exam, which is a requisite in the United States, and we'll focus primarily on paralegals. Our research also finds, as Alistair mentioned, that the current niche competitors, which are going to be our main competitors, only focus on filling in the need. They don't do proactive recruitment. They don't do value added. They just fill a warm body to do the need that the law firm requires at that specific time. We know this, the numbers show it, and we're going to capitalize on it by establishing competitive advantage on 3 main points. Primarily, we're going to focus on recruiting. We're going to have an aggressive on-site recruiting network in key strategic colleges, law schools, business schools, and bar test centers all around the United States. Once we recruit these people, we're going to have aggressive filtering system, which is going to be IQ tests, psychological profiles, and other forms to filter out the good from the not so good. Notice I didn't say bad. Second source of competitive advantage is sales. We're going to have, it's not every business that has 5 MBAs focused on business-to-business pitches and an aggressive sales force. We're going to have, we already have a foot in the door, as Alistair mentioned. We have a line of people that are already willing to listen to our pitches in New York. So we're going to have proactive recruitment, proactive sales in the law firms, which are going to provide constant feedback to our recruitment officers, which are going to adapt our recruitment according to the market needs. since we're a small firm, this adaptation is going to be able to be done really quick, and we're going to be on top of things really fast. Third, and certainly not least, source of competitive advantage is customer satisfaction. Not only because of the two reasons mentioned above, we're going to confirm customer satisfaction through quality control and operating control system established with our in-house staff, which is going to be, as soon as the temp finishes a job, the executive in charge of that temp is going to receive a survey, which is going to take less than a minute to complete because these are busy people. And that survey is going to be automatically returned to us, in which case we're going to establish our in-house rating system that only us are going to see, which is going to help us place these temps in the future according to their strengths and weaknesses as provided by past feedback. So as time progresses, as the ball gets moving, we're going to get even more efficient in placing these temps in the best possible position. It's that simple, it works. So I'm going to pass you now to Dionisio, which is going to give you a brief overview of our financials.
Thank you, Roy. So to start with the financials outlook, just going to take a quick look at the cost structure. Low cost, simple structure. It's easy. The variable costs. Variable costs are composed by the hourly rate that we're going to charge the law firms for the temps. The overtime labor rate, which is very important because in the New York area and law firms, there's an average weekly overtime performance of 20 hours. So it's very interesting to take that in account. Sales commission, which will be perceived by our sales representatives. And then we move on to the fixed cost. Fixed cost, the first one is the rent. We think it's much more efficient to start working in the business center, which provides us with the basic needs for the day-to-day operations, secretaries, telephone, internet, etc. Then we have the wages, managing team wages. They're going to be very, very low from the beginning. General expenses, advertising, promotion, and provisions for whatever, just in case. I'm sorry. The sales forecast. So for the sales forecast, in order to the big research we did, we found out that 15% of the employees in the law firms are temps. So taking into account that 15%, what we're going to do is in year one, we'll try to aim 1.5% market share of the top 5 biggest law firms volume-wise. Second year, we'll try to aim 3% market share of the top 10 biggest firms. Third year, 5% of the top 20, and so forth. So we have sustainable growth, progressive growth, as you can see in the numbers and in the chart, but with very conservative figures and in a low risk way. This is the financial forecast. As I said before, low costs entail low initial capital expenditures. Only information system, software, corporate site, and setup fees. The initial investment is estimated in 300, as you can see in the cash flow chart, in $300,000, which takes into account all the startup fees and 1 year of worst case scenario, which would be 1 year of no sales, absolutely no sales. The following years, the cash flow is positive, which gives us a final NPV at year 5 of 2.8 million and a very interesting interest rate of return, internal rate of return of 123%. We have done further financial development, financial investigations. We can provide it to you if you request it. This is DLO. Those are the figures. They speak for themselves, not more, not less. It's fairly simple. We're not inventing Coca-Cola. This is not rocket science. We're just going to be a very competitive agent in an existing market that is proven and that is especially highly profitable. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have time for questions?
Questions?
Go ahead. Yeah.